Welcome, students, today to another level of complication in absolute value equations. The last level of complication that we're going to have, the last step in problem solving. As you do today's assignment, please don't get frustrated, don't get overwhelmed. Just be grateful that we don't do this on day one. we build up so that all the steps in one that you're going to see today are doable. Because we've kind of built into it slowly. So we'll go over a few of them, and hopefully it'll make sense. As always, pause, repeat, skip ahead. Do what you need to do. To do well on the quiz. I'll start with number 4, and then I'll do a couple other examples. You'll be good to go. On problems like this, where we're going to have a complicated aspect of the equation, this one is inside the absolute value. On some other ones, we're going to be outside, but on the entire side of the equation as we work through these, just that additional step that's required. So on this, when you add 2 to both sides and you get that answer, now it's a matter of taking this entire entity and setting it equal to 40, or the negative of this can be 40. And instantly, we like to divide by the -1, so that the 10n plus 10 is -40. And then we solve it. And when you subtract 10 over here, you get the 30, and then divide by the 10, n can be 3. That's one of the solutions. And over here, when you subtract 10, from there you get -50, and then divide by 10, you get the -5. So n is -5. Those are the 2 possible solutions to this equation. And right off the bat, you can see it's not just a number and the negative of the number, because of this complicated expression inside the inequality. Now, on the same lines, there's these added steps you'll be doing. If you have the entire side divided by a 10, divided by an 8, divided by a 4, where's one where it's multiplied? Number 14, times by a 5. The answer on these, the way to get past that is just divide the entire side by 5 first on this one. So you end up with, that goes into it 22 times. So you end up with that. Just if the entire side of the equation is affected by a multiply or divide, just undo that first. Where's another one? Right here. First of all, divide the entire side by -6. So that the 7 minus 8x to 1. Up here, if the entire side is divided by an 8, then times the entire side by the 8 to give you the 40 on the right side. And isolating, we'll say, isolating the absolute value. Same thing over here. If you times both sides by 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So this side of the equation is now all the inequality isolated is -8. Look at that. We saw that before as well. Whenever you have the entire side of the equation, the isolated inequality, equal to a negative, you know that's never going to happen. There's no solution. Can't be done. And that's why I held off number 1. When you subtract 1 off of that, subtract 1, you're at -78. You can go through the motions to solve that, but it'd be spending time you don't need to spend. We'll never have the absolute value of something equal to a negative number. There's nothing you can put in place of v there to make all of this a negative number. That absolute value will override it. So there's no solution. All right, let's see, what else can I do? If you divide by 7 over here, you're left with the 1. Let's find one that maybe is going to be a little more complicated. How about this one right here? On this one, if you times both sides by 10, as I was explaining, to isolate the absolute value, you know that either this equals 50 or the negative of it is 50. So negative 9x plus 9 is 50. The other possible solution is that the negative of that is 50. Or, skipping that step altogether to try to squeeze this in, the negative 50. This number can either be the 50 or the negative of it. Okay, subtracting 9 from both sides, so negative 9x is 41. That looks ugly. Over here, subtract the 9 off, so that negative 9x is negative 59. Again, another one where in my mind I'm not seeing the multiplication table pan out. All right, divide by negative 9, so x is either negative 41 ninths or 41 over negative 9. Divide by negative 9, so x can be, let's see, negative 59 over negative 9, that's just a positive 59 ninths. Yeah, some of these answers are going to end up being even fractions. There's multiple ones on here where you're going to get a fraction as an answer. If you want, just check your work. I'll put the 59 ninths in. If I put 59 ninths in there, negative 9 times that gives me negative 59, and negative 59 plus 9 is negative 50. So that's negative 50 made positive 50 over 10. Yep, it works. If you want to do the same thing over here with negative 41, put negative 41 over 9 in there, multiply it, you get 41 plus 9 is a positive 50. And the absolute value of that. On these ones, the way to check your work on some of these where you get the negatives is to put the number back in for the variable and see if you get the right answer. Let's see. We've got that one, we've got this one. If I were to finish off 14 for you, either this number is all 22, 7a minus 8 is 22, or the negative of that. The negative of that is 22. And then we move the negative over, 7a minus 8, we divide by negative 1. So those are the two possible answers. Add 8, 7a's are 30, divide by 7. So one answer is 37ths. If you put 37ths in place of a, you'll get 110 when you work out that expression. Over here, when you add 8 to both sides, 7a is negative 14. Am I doing that right in my head? Then divide by 7, a is negative 2. And again, if you want to check and make sure, negative 2 times 7, negative 14. Negative 14 minus 8 is negative 22. Made positive and times by 5 does give us 100. Anyway, I'm approaching 10 minutes here. Let's not do that. It's just that added step of complication. Check the answer key if you need. Good talking with you. Hope you have a wonderful day today. See you tomorrow.